by rural migration to large cities, places like even Halifax, for example, or Fort McMurray in the west. The migration of rural populations outside of their native areas is causing harm to our society, and is something which we believe as a government we must stop. And it is for that reason that we would introduce the bill. This House would take measures to reduce the migration of rural populations to large cities. So let's get into the model of the debate today. This is going to apply to the Atlantic provinces. Basically what we're putting in place is a tax incentive, approximately 5% tax refund for anybody living in rural regions, a rural region being defined as anything outside of a large metro area of more than 50,000 people. For example, the Halifax Regional Municipality, not everybody would get it. If you live in the city, you will not get this tax incentive. However, if you live in Musquodoboit, any of the three, you're going to get that tax incentive. Okay. We're also going to be introducing a jobs program, which includes job training and job creation to help attract people to these regions and actually prepare them for jobs, take down the unemployment rate. Okay. Today we will be introducing 4 main constructive arguments on site government. Number 1, I will be talking to you about why is this even an issue. Number 2, I'll talk to you about regional instability. And then my partner DJ will be talking to you about our third point, how is our bill going to help? And number 4, the economic ramification of our bill. Okay, let's get into that first point. Why is this even an issue? We would tell you that with an aging population like we have in the Atlantic provinces, it is a problem when we lose skilled workers, like doctors and lawyers and nurses, people who can help these people as they age. We would tell you that when people are forced to leave their homes because they cannot get a job, or they are forced to move to a city because they cannot stay in firm, there's no money in it, when people are forced to leave because they cannot find a construction job in their region, we would tell you that is a problem. We would tell you today on site government that a lack of skilled workers harms not only these workers who can't really get jobs here, but also the individuals in our society. We would tell you that it also leads to bad infrastructure and infrastructure reduction. We would tell you that when people leave a region, the infrastructure falls into disrepair. Nobody is there to keep it anymore. There's no reason to because there's no money going into the system. We would tell you that to fix this issue, we need to pump money into the system, to encourage people to live in these areas, with, for example, the tax incentive and the jobs program. We would tell you that to help our aging population, to help all of the individuals in rural areas, we must be able to convince more people to live here, convince more people to get good jobs, and actually bring money to the area. Go ahead.
Well, on the idea of tax incentives, we already have tax incentives for doctors, and that hasn't been working.
Actually, those aren't tax incentives. We actually give people isolation pay or rural habitation pay for where they live. Not tax incentives. Learn the law. Okay. Moving into the next point about regional instability. We would tell you today on site government that when people move out of an area because they cannot get a job, when we have the mass exodus which we have in the Atlantic provinces, this harms not only the individuals who are leaving, but it harms the wider society around them. Municipalities like Canso who can no longer support themselves because there is no money in their system. Municipalities falling apart and not being able to maintain infrastructure or roads because there is no money to go into it. We would tell you that when people are forced to leave because they cannot get a job, this is what causes harm to our provinces. It is what causes people to lose money, to not be able to live here anymore. That's not what we want today on site government. On site government, we want to encourage large rural populations where people can actually make a living, where people can feed their families. What we would want on site government today is to encourage people to live in these regions, actually help them to get jobs, rather than simply allow them to leave. We would tell you that the only way to pump more money into the system is to have more people spending money. Giving consumers more power is the best way to pump money into rural populations, is the best way to pump money into these failing municipalities, and it's for that reason that we are introducing this bill. Today we talk to you on site government, number 1, about why it's actually an issue, how our aging population, how the lack of jobs, the high unemployment rate is actually harming individuals and a wider society, and then we talk to you about how regional instability is being created by this mass exodus and why we believe that must be stopped. And it's for this reason which we on site government are proud to propose. Thank you.